Understanding the Business Marketplace, Chapter 1 is where our discussion starts today. When we look at the business marketplace, there's an industry structure, there's consumer behavior that's always being influenced or hopefully being influenced in a positive way, global marketing, marketing segmentation, the value proposition that we build, and then our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, which is better known as our SWOT. So, business is defined within a particular structure or framework. You have either a pure monopoly, an oligopoly, monopolistic competition, or what most of us understand our capitalistic society to be in is pure competition or more pure competition, where we have many firms, many competitors, and limited government regulation. But more importantly, from a business standpoint, you just need to understand the framework of the industry that you operate in and how that marketplace fits into that framework. Now, businesses are always looking for new ways to motivate and change consumer behavior. And so they are building a value proposition, and they do so with either influencing factors, which take in consideration personal, social, cultural, or psychological elements, or they do it with a decision making factor, which takes into consideration need recognition, information collection, value acquisition, or value assessment. Now, in the 21st century business marketplace, you need to consider both influencing factors and decision making factors, and you cannot choose between one or the other. They both will make up the value proposition for you. Consumer behavior is really founded in the fact that most of us have come from a family, and as a result of that, or a family type of environment, I should say. And so we are influenced by this particular reference group known as family. And then we want to assimilate with groups through either our direct influence or our indirect influence or reference. And we have a role within these groups throughout the course of our life that actually changes or shifts, but is expected for us to have a particular type of behavior because of that role when we're in that group type of setting. So, this consumer behavior then is kind of then based upon, from a business standpoint, understanding how to motivate, how to learn, and then what to do with attitudes. So motivation is an energizing force. It really helps the business kind of analyze a consumer and build a strategy. Freud, Maslow, Herzberg all had theories about motivation. The learning piece of it is important because a business looks at the way that people learn, and they understand that the behavior can be changed as a result of learning. So it's important to get information from consumers that helps them then build product loyalty for that particular consumer and business. And then the person's attitude about things, their evaluations, feelings, and actions help them make decisions. And then we can found their value and belief system as a result of that when we're looking at this consumer behavior. So let's take a look at this particular model. And what this tells us from a business standpoint is that there's a need recognition. You go to your cupboard, there are no potato chips. And so marketers know that they need to provide you with potato chips in the store, so that when you go to the store to search for those, you start the information collection mode. And then marketers will give you a number of choices, whether they're ruffles with ridges, they are sweet, they're hot, they're spicy, they have different flavors and sizes and shapes. You then make an acquisition based upon the value that's perceived, and you decide to purchase the potato chips. The marketers in the business produce value for you, and then this allows you, after your purchase, to then make an assessment, and you make a decision about whether or not you will market again, because that's what marketers hopefully want you to do, is to repeat your consumer purchase. So this takes you through the process from a consumer behavior standpoint of looking at the need recognition, the information collection, the value acquisition, and the value assessment from a consumer's perspective. Now, extrapolate that out to the global marketplace, and we find out quickly that this assessment is extremely important. In fact, coupled with analyzing, adapting, and applying, they become foundation pieces for global marketing of our effort. So these potato chips, if we use that example and continue it forward with the business, if you're in the business of manufacturing potato chips, you're operating on a global basis, not a local basis. And you're looking to have strategy and technology help advance your organizational performance. You analyze the environmental opportunities that exist and look for the consumer strengths to not only build that up on that strategy, but you do so around your SWOT. This allows your organization from a global standpoint to adapt to the different segments within the global marketplace, and then consider how things change as a result of competitors, suppliers, and even supply and demand. You can apply that as strategy and plan, and then you learn how to be effective in communicating it and the changes that will exist as a result of your organization being global. Now, this marketing segmentation comes into play because you have a goal of reaching as many people as possible. And then you build that strategy, whether it's mass marketing, segment marketing, or niche marketing. You do so based upon what type of tactics best are going to reach the segment of the population that you're going after. This allows us to then build a value proposition from the customer's perspective. So let's continue with the potato chip example. Once you have value, because the price is right, the product, the place, position, and promotion of the potato chips is right, better known as the marketing mix, then you can be influenced based upon the situation, the social aspect of what you're doing, or even the psychological aspect. So think of it like this. When would be a time that you would see a majority of potato chips sold? Well, the influence is being done primarily, I would say, at a time like the Super Bowl, where potato chips as a product are bundled with drinks or beverages, dips, sandwiches, and etc. So you might see a tremendous spike in not only customer value, but the marketing mix and the way they are presented to you, talking about potato chips, and the influence is based upon the situation, the social aspect and gathering of it, and then the psychological aspect of that. So the SWOT helps us in business in a couple of ways. One is that with the SWOT, we're able to understand our strengths, our weaknesses, and our opportunities and threats in the marketplace. Strengths and weaknesses are considered to be internal to our business. Opportunities and threats are considered to be external. So how do we pull those pieces together? Well, we do that with an analysis. And our SWOT analysis looks and compares our strengths against our opportunities and our strengths against our threats, both internal opportunities and external threats. It does the same thing in the way of our weaknesses. Weaknesses compared to opportunities, weaknesses compared to threats. But it's the analysis piece of this that is most beneficial to our business in the marketplace. So how do we answer these questions? And then ultimately we come up with the question of what is it we're going to do about it to remain competitive in the marketplace? So let's ask ourselves this question. What is it that we learn in this segment in regard to businesses and how they operate in the marketplace? Here is your thought for the day. Things that matter most must never be at the mercy of things that matter least.